Welcome to Knit in the Zone. I'm Jen, and this is a vlog about all things knitting, yarn, sometimes crochet, and sometimes some other random things too. This is episode 32. Thank you so much for everyone who's joining me, and welcome to everyone who's new, and welcome back to everyone who's returning viewers. Before we get started, I just want to let you know where you can find me across all of the social media things. You can find all of the clickable links for everything that I mentioned in this vlog at knitinthezone.com. You can check out my yarn at traintrackfiberdesigns.com. I have a lot of fun hand-dyed yarn on there. I'm going to show you guys some things in this episode that I just dyed this week that are just being released. You can follow me on Instagram. I have two accounts. I have one for Knit in the Zone, which is knit_in_the_zone. And then I also have one for Train Track Fiber Designs, which is just Train Track Fiber Designs on Instagram. Also, if you're interested, you can join the Knit in the Zone group on Ravelry. Just go to the groups tab on Ravelry and search for the Knit in the Zone group. Also, everything that I just mentioned will be at knitinthezone.com, so you can click through any of those links, the Instagram, the group on Ravelry, and also the fiber shop. So all of those things are over there. So I think that's everything as far as how you can find me. If you hear grumbling, I pretty much start every episode like this, but if you hear grumbling, Bella's right here, and she is in a licky mood, so she's licking her feet and stuff, and I think she stopped, but if you hear sudden grumbling, that's what's going on. The other thing I want to mention is we are in the house again. It is pouring rain, the wind's blowing, therefore it is raining sideways, and my chair is soaked out there, and also I normally sit that camera on the ledge, like the porch railing stuff, and so it just wouldn't work today outside. So I'm in the house. And I have my Falcon shirt on because we have our first preseason game tomorrow, which is Thursday the 10th. Yeah, Thursday the 10th. So, yay, go Falcons. I am not a bandwagon Falcons fan. I am a diehard Falcons fan. I've been a fan since I can remember. So, I know they went to Super Bowl last year and we didn't win, but I was a fan way before that. So, just saying. Anyways, let's get started. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm stocking. The first thing on my stocking list is this beautiful shawl by Naomi Grace. It is called Gray Skies Shawl, and it has a lot of lace detail. The bottom part is a more intricate lace detail. The top is more of like, I would call that kind of like open work or something. It has some pretty, I can't tell what that is, but the little stripes, they're pretty stripes in there. And it is a two-color shawl, as you can see. And the thing I like about her designs is she uses colors that are, she uses yarns that are multicolor. So very, what is that considered? I guess multi-tonal, variegated, I guess, maybe. Yeah, there we go, variegated. So basically anything in my shop really would work for her shawls. So I mean, obviously you can get your yarn from wherever, but I have a lot of yarn that would look really good on her shawls. So that's the first thing I'm stocking. This is a paid for pattern. I think a $6.75 maybe on Ravelry. I'll post it in the show notes at knitinthezone.com. The second thing I'm shopping, the second thing I'm stocking, these are called Nancy's Fancy Socks. And they're so pretty. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. I love these. I'm gonna do a little test knit and see how the pattern shows up because I have a specific yarn that I want to use for my next socks. But as long as everything flows and goes well, this is what I'm going to make next for socks because they're really pretty. I just love that detail. I might do the cuff differently though because I don't know if that would really hold up for me. But I love these. They're beautiful. Now, I was looking for, I don't really know what I was looking for. I was looking for a shawl, I think maybe and I ran across a few things from Amy Miller. Now, actually, you know what? That is not true at all. I was not looking for a shawl from Amy Miller. I saw in the Stranded podcast from whenever she did her SSK, where she took the camera along with her. Whenever she was in Nashville, she had gone to a yarn shop and they had this shawl on display there. And this has been in my queue for a long time. And so I moved to the top. So that's how I came about this whole Amy Miller kick. So this is called Pop Beads, and this is by Amy Miller. And it's a beautiful shawl. It's a 4-color shawl, and it looks so pretty. Basically, I mean, obviously the colors she chose are beautiful, but whenever I saw it in the Stranded podcast video, I was like, oh my gosh, that's Pop Beads, and I have that in my queue, and I wanted to knit it. So I moved that back towards the top. Anyway, so I don't know why I was like, how did I get back on Amy Miller? Anyways, but whenever I was looking at that, then I decided to look at some other things from her, and I saw this adorable dress. So this is called Seamus, and it's a dress. I'll back out a little bit so you can see the whole thing. And it's a dress, and it has pockets, and it's knit in fingering weight yarn, and it's just really cute, and I like the colors she chose. I just like this design. I feel like that's a very wearable dress. I don't know if I would do mine in long sleeves or if I would do mid sleeves like I normally like to do, but I think it's a very wearable thing, so I added that to my queue. And then I also added one other thing from her, and I don't know why I didn't take a screenshot. Okay, this is called Second Avenue, and this is also by Amy Miller, and this is I guess this is supposed to be a shawl. I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's a shawl. I guess you could wear it as an oversized scarf too, but yeah, it's a shawl. So this was done as a mystery knit along, I think. I believe. Obviously I didn't get in on that, but it's really cute, and that's also a paid for pattern. I think all of Amy Miller's patterns are like $6. Okay, no, that dress I showed you was $7.50, and the Second Avenue shawl was $6, and then Pop Beads is $5. So I totally lied, but that's what I'm stocking. And yeah, so I don't know what thing I'm going to make next. Definitely socks, because I finished a pair of socks, which I'll get to right now. Where did I put everything? Okay, since I'm in a new place, I'm kind of like, where is everything at? Alright, so I showed you guys my Harmony socks, I guess probably the past 3 weeks, however long I've been working on them, but I decided that they were long enough. And they come up to like, I guess like mid-calf kind of area, and I like the way they turned out. Up until Monday, I was still on the fence trying to decide if I wanted to make them go, be knee socks or not, and I got about, a little bit less than there, about, to where you start doing your ribbing. And I decided I should probably weigh my yarn and see how much I had. And there's no way I had enough to go all the way to my knees. So I just decided to go ahead and get it over with and, start my ribbing and bind off and be done. So they are a kind of a weird length. They probably will become sleep socks, because I feel like where I ended them at, I ended them kind of like, how your calf goes, like, it gets bigger, and I kind of ended them like at like the biggest part of your calf, which is probably a huge no-no for socks. And because I had increased so much, because I was planning on going up, this is kind of like looser. I mean, it's not like bagging off of me or anything, but it's not like tight, So anyways, I have a feeling I just spent like 3 weeks making sleep socks, which is fine, because I sleep in hand knit socks every night because my feet get cold. So it's not a big deal, even if they do fall down, because generally I lose a sock in the night anyway for some reason. So no biggie. Maybe they'll just stay on better because they're taller. So that is done. So that's why I'm looking for a sock pattern to make. And I kind of want to make something lacy because I don't have anything lace going on right now, and I love to knit lace. So I'm going to try to make a lacy sock pattern. If that one, the Nancy's Fancy Socks, complements the yarn that I want to use, then I'll do that one. But yeah. So the other thing I want to talk about, I probably should have mentioned this a few weeks ago whenever I got these, but I got the adobe turbo needles. I guess it doesn't really matter. You guys know what a needle looks like. But I got these in the 2.25 millimeter size, and they're a 32-inch cable. And the reason I got these is because I wanted to try using metal knitting needles again. I use wooden needles for almost everything that I knit. The only time I don't use wooden needles is if I have to do something on double pointed needles and I don't have wooden needles for that. But I decided I wanted to try metal needles again, and I didn't have any metal circular needles to knit socks on. So I invested in these, and I'm really happy that I did. I like them a lot. They're called Turbo. Yeah, adobe turbo. And it's supposed to be a smooth turbo coating on the outside of the needles to somehow make your yarn slip easier. I can't say either way on that. I don't really feel like it was any more slippery or not than any other metal needles because I don't use metal needles a lot. But I do like how smooth the joints are on them, and I mean, I like them. So yeah, smooth joints. Nice. I mean, the cable's nice, the cable's flexible and stuff, so I like them a lot. I would repurchase or purchase them in other sizes, you know, if I want other metal needles. So yeah, that's one thing I invested in a few weeks ago, and I forgot to show you guys because I don't really think to show you guys needles a lot of times because, I mean, unless it's like, oh, I got the whole kit of something, like whenever I got my Hiya set, I showed you guys because I was excited, but you know, usually I use Knit Picks needles or either my Hiya set now, so I don't really think to say, oh, hey, I got these. But yeah, so those are new, and I like them. So if you're interested in trying them, it's definitely worth the money. They're a little bit more expensive than like the Knit Picks needles, which is why I usually knit socks on. But once again, they're metal and they're not going to break. So, and that is something that I've had happen with wooden needles. It's not just Knit Picks, it's all wooden needles that are like a 2.25 millimeter because you're basically knitting with a toothpick. I mean, and gosh, if you go smaller than that, I mean, you're gonna break something eventually. So anyways, yeah. So now I want to show you guys what I'm working on. I have two things that I'm working on. I'll go ahead and show you my blanket because I've made a lot of progress. But then the other thing I'm really excited about too. So last week, I think I only had done one square when I showed you guys last week. Let me look. Okay. So yeah, whenever I showed you guys last week, I had just added Dream On. And then now this week, I've added 6 squares. Okay. So I added this one. And this is Hello Summer from Train Track Fiber Designs. Added this one, and this is Gray Wacka from Train Track Fiber Designs, and this is on a sparkly base. This and this are left over from my Love You Baby shawl. Added this one, and this, and also this one over here that I haven't gotten to yet. Those are from the Sexy Knitter, and they came in the Aunt Petunia minis bundle, and I think that was $12 on her site, and it was just minis, so that's awesome. And they're baby minis. They're not like full-size 20-gram minis. They're like, I don't know, I want to say maybe less than 10 grams. I want to say they're like maybe 7 grams. They're like tiny, tiny, tiny. So that's awesome. And I got them purpose, you know, obviously with this in mind. But yeah, so that's in her set. And also this one's from that same set. And this one. And I think I have one more. So anyways, and then I added this. And this is from Train Track Fiber Designs. This is Witchmaker. And then I added this one, and this is Seaway, and that is the third color in my Love You Baby shawl. So yeah, you can see them all kind of together if I'm coordinated enough. Yeah, okay, I'm not really that coordinated apparently. So yeah, that's the progress I made on this. I added 2 squares whenever I was at knit group on Saturday, and then I got froggy and decided to work on it some more whenever I came home on Saturday, and I think I worked on it Sunday a little bit too. Yeah, because it was really humid outside and I was knitting on the porch and I didn't really want, you know, something big on me. And I wasn't sure what I was doing with the socks, so they were kind of in timeout. So yeah, that's how much I got done on that. And then I've made a lot of progress on Ooh La La. So let me pull this out. And I think I just knocked the thing the camera's on, so sorry if you guys just went for a ride. Alright, so this is how much I have done. It's rolling up at the bottom because I don't have the ribbing done yet, so it's going to roll up. But I think whenever I showed you guys last time, I'm sitting in a different spot a little bit so you can't see. But I think whenever I showed you last time, it was like, maybe like right here. So I didn't put a marker, but I think it was like somewhere around here. So I've made a lot of progress. I added the pockets and I'm on the ribbing on the bottom, so I'm almost done with this part. And I was really excited about something that I did. And honestly, I'm surprised I didn't think to do this before, but I didn't. So I have pockets that are a different color. The pattern actually calls for, let me see if I can just show you really quick. So it has a contrasting color in the pocket, and then this is what the whole entire thing is supposed to look like. Obviously I'm not doing stripes on mine or contrasting arms. I wanted to use this yarn particular, so I picked this pattern after I had picked the yarn. But I did want to do contrasting colors on my pockets. Hold on, I've got to put all this back in here because there's nowhere for it to go if I don't. Okay, so yeah, so I wanted to do contrasting colors for the pockets. I did not have a DK weight yarn in a contrasting color. Apparently, out of all of the yarn that I have, all of these from right here all the way down, and in that closet, there's also some bins. Apparently, I do not have any other DK weight yarn. That's a lie. I do have one more set of Mad Tosh, something else in a DK weight, but it's teal. And it's for a sweater, and I haven't used any of it yet, and I didn't want to waste it on this because I don't know how much I need. So anyways, with the exception of that, I do not own any other DK weight yarn. So I wanted to have the contrasting, pockets, because you can't really see it, but it looks cute, the way that she did, and so I thought that would be cute. And so what I did was I just took a little bit of the yarn that I'm actually using for the project, which is Mad Tosh DK Twist in the Radness, which obviously looks like this. And I just over dyed it with some pink dye that I have in my shop. And so I didn't lose the speckles. Of course I lost some of the speckles, but some of them are still there. Let me see if I can turn it this way so you can see a little bit better. But yeah, so I didn't lose, like the dark speckles, and I didn't lose the orange speckles. Of course the pink speckles are blended now and so are the yellow, but it's obviously exactly the same yarn, so it's going to work together the same. So I was excited about doing that. And what's sad is I seriously had all of these bins and the bin in the closet spread out in my office, which is where we are now. I had all of those things spread out, and I was looking and I was like, what can I do? Because I wanted to use a contrasting color. I was considering holding 2 colors together, or 2 strands of something else together, and then it dawned on me, I'm like, hello, you can dye yarn. So I did, and I'm so glad I did. That was a really good idea. I wish I hadn't have dyed quite so much though, because now I have, like a little bit left that I'm not really sure what I'm going to use it for. But anyways, so I did that, and I love how it's coming together. If you're not familiar with Joji Locatelli's patterns, if you've never knit one, I highly recommend them. They're a great knit. Everything I've knit from her has been just really well written, and the patterns have just, you know, I don't know, they're just really well written. They fit true to size, like her sizing is right. And I know she has tech editors and things, but you know, she does a really good job, and the people on her team are amazing, apparently, because everything does, if you follow and you get the gauge like you're supposed to with her, everything fits like it's supposed to. Now, not to say that other people don't, you know, do that too, but we've all run across patterns, I'm sure, that don't fit like they're supposed to, even though you get gauge. So I appreciate that, you know, her people have it right. Her and her people, whoever her tech editors are. So yeah, I like her patterns a lot. So that is the Ooh La La cardigan, and like I said, I will link I will post a link to that in knittinthezone.com, as well as the pattern for the scrap blanket that I'm making and the Harmony everyday socks that I finished. So I'll post all of those over there. I want to show you guys what I'm dyeing, or what I dyed this week. So I have a little bag of stuff, and it's all Halloween colors. I'll probably get rid of that. Okay, so I think I showed you guys this one maybe last week, but this is Goblin, and this is on a sparkly base. I'm showing you all minis today because that's what I do sample dyes on for the most part, just because easier, you know, doesn't take as much dye, and I can just really see if I like something before I invest a lot of, you know, time and money into it. So this is Goblin, and I think this is probably my favorite. Well, gosh, there's a few that are my favorites, but I love this one. And this is available on any of my bases right now in my shop. The next one I have is Pumpkin, which I also showed you guys this one the other day. And Pumpkin is brown and orange, and this one's shown on the sparkly base. The next one is called Fantastic, and it's black-ish gray. I guess, I don't know. That's actually gray, but the more I look at it, I feel like it could almost pass as black. But anyway, it's supposed to be like a silvery gray. And then it has a berry red. And this is shown on a base that has nylon in it. So obviously if you pick a 100% wool base, it's going to be a little bit more saturated, but get the general idea. And the next one is Lavender Leaves. And Lavender Leaves is lavender, and then it has some speckles of like some fall time leaf colors in here, and some gray as well. And you can kind of see more speckles right here. The lighting will cooperate. So Lavender Leaves, and the next one's Kraken. And to be honest with you, when I dyed this one and I pulled it out of the dye pot and I was letting it dry, I was on the phone with Mom and I said, oh hell, because I thought this was not gonna look good. But then as it dried and I actually, you know, looked at it, I love it. It's a lot going on here. You can't really see it as well on the video, I guess probably because we're inside, but this is really speckly in through here. So there's a lot of speckles. The pictures on my website really show a lot better. But yeah, so it's gray, and then it has some speckles of like a lot of colors, and it also has some like light orange, which I guess we could just call apricot. But I love this, and I feel like this one and also Pumpkin, not necessarily together, because I don't really feel like they necessarily go together. But I feel like both of those are like good fall colors where you could kind of feel like you did something in a little bit of like a Halloween-y kind of fall theme color without being over the top and still have fun colors. But I feel like both of these are very wearable. So yeah, there's those. And then this one's called Trendy. And Trendy is like a lavender and a really pretty orange, and then also a creamy vanilla color. And the reason I named it Trendy is like, okay, I have to go back to whenever I was dyeing. So whenever I dye things, I don't go in with like an idea of, ooh, I'm gonna dye this. I kind of go in with a general idea of, okay, I want Halloween colors, which is what I did. But I don't sit there and just have a list of like what I want to put on one skein. I just kind of let it flow and be creative. And then I name things afterwards. So I was trying to see if there's anything online, like a picture of anything that had these colors, like maybe a natural thing or anything at all. And whenever I typed in like what I felt like the colors were, the first thing that came up was some post from, I think it was Vogue or something, but it was this lady in a coat and it had like the same exact purple and like the creamy vanilla color and then orange. And so I just called it Trendy because I felt like, okay, apparently that's like trendy colors right now. So I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, so I just really like this, and I'm probably gonna make a full size of this and make something for myself out of this because I like this a lot. I like all of them a lot, really. That's the hard thing with yarn, and we all do it too. You know, you see stuff you like, and then you're like, oh, well, I need that. But whenever you dye yarn, it's even worse because you, like, want everything you dye. So on top of having other people's yarn, then you want all the yarn you dye too. So I think, yeah, I have them on my computer pulled up so I know the names because I can't remember when I name things. So this is the last one. And this is called Moonbat. And Moonbat is just black and orange, and it has some gray. Kind of has a little bit of brown and greenish kind of colors over here too. But it's just typical like Halloween, like what you would, you know, what you kind of expect of Halloween colors. And then the other one that I have that I don't have many of anymore because I used part of it, is the Witchmaker, which was in my blanket. So that's all of the new colors, and I think that's all for knitting and yarn stuff. I did want to tell you guys about books really quick. So I finished listening to the Book of Polly, and it was really good all the way through the whole book. So if you're interested in listening to it, definitely check it out. It was great. Like I said, I really love the narrator of the story, so I mean, I'm a fan of hers, so definitely check that out if you're interested. It was a good book all the way through. And I am still reading Hidden Figures. I started this, I think last Wednesday morning. I had read like a page or two, and so I'm still reading it. I haven't made it very far. I'm on like page 75 or something like that. It is a good story. I'm enjoying it. It's a lot of like true real life information about airplanes and aviation and stuff like that. And I don't know anything about that kind of stuff. So as I'm reading, I'm learning, and like for me, this is not a quick read. Because for me to actually absorb the information and things, which I guess it doesn't matter. It's not like I'm going to go be a pilot or build an airplane. But like I just want to actually like let the information absorb for whatever reason, so it's taken me a long time. But it's a good book. We haven't even gotten into space yet, so we are still on airplanes, so I'm assuming, you know, it'll probably take me a long time to read this, honestly, because if it's that full of information, and it's all real life too, because it's, you know, story about, you know, the women in the story, it's true life supposed to be, so, or based on a true life experience anyway. So I don't know if the names have been changed, honestly, but either way, it's taken a long time. It is a good book. It's just a lot of information that I wasn't expecting as far as like learning about planes and stuff. So yeah, there's that. And then now I started a new audiobook, which I've flown through. And I think part of the reason is because audiobooks kind of, obviously you're listening, so it's a different thing. But it is called I Liked My Life, and it is by Abby Fabiashi, I think is how you say her name. And let me see, hopefully it won't start playing. But this is what the cover looks like. And it's a story about a woman who is no longer alive, and she is basically watching her family from the afterlife. I don't really want to give too much away. She's not in hell and she's not in heaven. She's just kind of like there. But anyway, so she's watching her family and like, you know, so it goes through things about her life too, but it's also going through, you know, her family, like what they're going through now because she's watching them. So it's a good story. It sounds, whenever you explain it or like whenever you read, you know, what the book's going to be about, it sounds like it's really sad, but it does have some sad parts for sure, but it's not like all just like you're bawling the whole time listening to it or reading it. You know, it's good so far. Has some funny parts in it. I mean, it's so far it's a pretty good book all around. And I think I have, let's see. Yeah, I have about 2 hours left on the book, and it is, okay, I don't know how long. But anyway, I've been listening to it since Thursday, I guess, or maybe Friday. I don't know what day I started it, but it's good and it's worth listening to. So I think that's all I have for you guys today. I did actually forget one thing, and I'll go ahead and just mention it. So whenever I get done with my cardigan, I'm going to need buttons, and I have a lot of buttons, and I don't know what kind of buttons I want to use, but I really am considering using these, and I don't know if you can really see the detail, but they're flowers, and they're black, and I just think they'll be really cute because the Ooh La La cardigan with the Radness yarn that I'm using, it has the black flecks, and I kind of think that would be cute. I may not. I may buy new buttons altogether, but I have all these buttons, and I kind of want to use one of them, or a set of them. And then I also have these. They're just kind of plain. You can't really see it on there, but yeah. So I meant to show that whenever I was showing my cardigan, and I forgot. It was under my book. But anyways, apparently I have a button problem because I just buy buttons and they go in here, and I think there are 2 styles of buttons. Oh, I'm sorry, 3 styles of buttons that I've actually used buttons and just have leftovers. So apparently I don't need to just buy buttons for no reason. But anyways, so thank you guys so much for watching and for spending time with me today. I hope that maybe next week I'll be able to go outside. If not, I do feel like the lighting's better this week, and I feel like there's less of a distracting background. So yeah. And if you're wondering, seahorse, Keely cat, picture of Keely, which I'll show you guys. This is from a long, long time ago when she was a little baby. And then obviously my shawl that I showed you guys last week. And then that's just a shell that I put binder clips and stuff. Binder clips, lip gloss, and that is all. So yeah, things on my desk. But I think it's a less distracting background today because I kind of faced it this way rather than this way. So, and I did different with lighting. So anyways, all that to say, I hope I can go back outside next week. I know whenever it gets cold outside, I'll have to be in the house though, because it's just, I'm not going to sit out there and freeze for 30 or 40 minutes. So I know eventually this will be the reality, but I hope next week and for at least a few more months, maybe, maybe hopefully I can be outside. So anyways, thank you guys for spending time with me today. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Go to knitinthezone.com for all of the links for everything I mentioned, and also check out traintrackfiberdesigns.com. Thanks, guys.